Welcome to this course title for Manufacturing Technology second unit first and lecture 8 Cutting Materials Operation. Agenda for today present in this lecture the cutting tool geometry, the American Standard Association system, and orthogonal rack system (ORS), and ISO International Standard Organization या Indian Standard Organization System for the nom and the no, normal rack system in NRI. The significance of various tools, angles for rack angles and back for side angle, cutting its end angle and cutting for its angle and relief angle, a side and end of the angles. The International Standard Organization System for or the Normal Rack System (N.R.S). The true geometry of the cutting tool is not relevant related to when the cutting edge are inclined from the base plane. The also tools grinding in the orthogonal rack system require the additional calculation for setting of the angle on the cutter is grinding. In this system, side rack angle is defined as the angle between the base plane on the tools and the rack face of the five tools measured in the plane normal to the side cutting edge. The compared to the orthogonal rack system and system the rack angle is visible in the normal plane of the orthogonal or rack system is present, and this is the tool of the present. This is the tool, and this is the base angle, base plane. This is the base plane is the cutting plane for this tool is also cutting for the velocities is this and cutting plane. The cut for the workpiece is the cutting plane. This is the normal plane. The tool specification system for the normal shear stands for the system. Significance of variance tools rack angle of the and there is the positive zero or negative. The rack angle is the angle in between like for the positive and zero and negative. The present for the rack angle is the orthogonal cutting mechanics. Shear angle is directly affected by the rack angle. The large rack angle are beneficial and machining efficiency, giving rise to the lower cutting force and power. However, the increasing to the very high value is decrease the strength of the tool tip. The small rack angle are used for the cutting hand material, while the large skills are used for the cutting soft and ductile material of the excess of the brass where the prevented to the digging of the tool in work. It is machined with the small rack angle or present. Cutting edge angle, the side cutting edge angle is the side cutting edge angle is the present in the sudden engagement of the entire depth of cut when the tools entire for the work material. As the result, it the affected the resulting tool life and surface finish. It can be vary from the 0 degree to the 90 degree. When the is the zero, the entire cutting is will be engaged for the some time is the workpiece is it is the some that somewhat the similar to orthogonal cutting since orthogonal cutting since of the sense and the radial component of the cutting forces because the almost negligible when the side cutting is its angle when the side cutting is angle is increased, the entry of the tool is smooth start from the since the cut of the depth of cut is the gradually increase until the entire cutting is it in the conduct for the workpiece. Chip produced for the thinner and the wide is increased for the side cutting its angle is the cutting it angle. This is the terms for the distribution also present on the video of before video heat the larger cutting its. However, with the larger for the side cutting its angle is the radial component of the cutting forces increase the thereby the promoting and the possibility of the cutter chatter for the complementary angle is a 90 minus the shear is the shear the cutting of the shear plane of the angle. The side cutting its angle is the called the plane approaches angle. It end cutting ends angle. The purpose of the end cutting end angle for the end cutting end angle is the relief and the trailing end of the cutting for end of the preventer for rubbing the machined surface. To that contains only small angle is sufficient for this purpose. It is not desirable to have the large id cutting its angle as is the take away material the supported for cutting is and the hand of the condition for heat away from the point. In most cases for value of the 10 degree to 15 have been we found the satisfactory of the boring of the turning tools. The relief angle side and end. The function of relief angle is the present for rubbing flags of the tools for machined surface. Generally, the turning or relief angle is ranking for the 5 degree to the 15 degree of is measured similar to the s- id end of cutting id angle. A small relief angle is strength to the cutting edge and the machining hard and strong material. Increase the value of relief angle also to the tool is the penetrated penetrated to the cut of the workpiece is material more efficiently thereby reducing the cutting forces. However, too large relief angle weaken for cutting is and not for desirable. The dynamometer and noted for the ear, layer for the cutting force is important to indication of the perpendicular of the machining operation. The equipment is side to be measured. The cutting force is called the dynamometer. They are the measure for the value of the deflection of body and directly influences for the cutting forces. By measuring the strain induced in the body of the direct is the directly influenced by the cutting angle force. By measuring the pressure extended on the medium that is the directly influenced by the cutting acting of the cutting forces in the system. Dynamo is typically set of the measurement of the cutting forces consist of the following the component the a medium of the experiences for cutting forces the the sense the sense of the sensor for the also perform to the measure converter in the measurable quantities such as the strain gauge. The sensor output is the normally applied on the measure on the additional for the of the stall for the system dynamometer is the measure by the cutting velocity and the cutting force on the other terms is the equipment is the use for the laboratory while the designing the dynamometer the sensitive it should provide the sufficient sensitivity of different range of the measurement. The rigidity it should be high stiffness of the rigidity of the surface dynamometer. The cross sensitive in case of the multi-channels dynamometer is indivisible force is component without the having the cross sensitive. stability. The stability of the dynamometer measuring the components should not be affected by cutting fluid, humidity, and the temperature, solidification, and contraction. It is the really is the perfectly for the dynamometer is measured from the side back of the material rather than the assembly for of the number of the parts of the system is transmission for the makers for the losses of the accuracy of the system. The easy of the calibration. The dynamometer should be calibrated by the simple producer and the calibration convert for the linear and operating range of the system. Thank you so much.